But either way, that is a major block, and that puts up a wall for a lot of things that you're trying to achieve in life. If you cultivate the feeling of being good enough with or without the money, the thing, or the person, that's when those things come to you, because you're shifting the importance and you're taking those things off of that pedestal. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Alyssa, and this channel is about the law of attraction, building self-empowerment, and conquering limiting self-beliefs. So be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so that you stay notified when I post new content. Also, if you end up liking this video, go ahead and hit that like button to support the channel and get it out to more people. Leave me a comment and share this video if you find it useful. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about 3 ways your shadow is blocking the things that you're trying to manifest into your life and what you can do about it so that you can become a magnet to what you want. But first, if you don't know what the shadow is, I'll go ahead and link the video that I did on shadow work in the description box, and I'll pin it to the comments. But in that video, I go over what the shadow is and my experience with shadow work up until that point. I do have to do a part 2 on that soon because I've had some pretty amazing epiphanies since then. But anyway, before we get into the meat and potatoes of the video, your shadow is made up of the aspects of yourself that you've consciously kept hidden away from the world, and it's the part of yourself that's just been subconsciously running on autopilot. Either way, your shadow is these aspects of yourself that you need to become aware of so you can integrate them in a positive way so that you can grow as a person. That sounds like fun, right? So again, if you haven't gotten into the shadow or what shadow work is, go ahead and watch that video I did on it and then come back to this one. But if you're well versed in the shadow, then let's dive right in. So the first shadow aspect that's possibly been keeping you blocked is people pleasing. So buckle up, people pleasers. This might be a bumpy ride. Now, why would we not want to please other people? Why would this be a shadow aspect? Now, I'm not saying don't be kind to other people. I'm not saying don't help people if they need it and if it's within your means. I'm just saying if you're in a position where you're constantly saying yes to people when you don't want to, consistently setting aside your needs to satisfy the needs of others, calibrating your energy to feed others' egos, always being there for other people when they're not there for you. The list goes on, and I think you get the idea, but basically, your relationships with others don't reflect an even exchange, right? Whether that's with strangers, coworkers, or people that you're close with. You give more than you get back, and you don't feel fulfilled in these relationships, and that's because you're not being authentic, and you're not filling up your own cup. If you don't fill your own cup, you can't expect other people to. Law of correspondence, as within, so without. So why is people pleasing part of the shadow? Well, let's look at this from a law of attraction standpoint. If your story about yourself is that you're a people pleaser, you will attract confirmation of that belief in not so ideal ways. You'll come across people who take advantage of you and your kindness, treat you like a doormat, make you feel small, and consistently take from you without giving back. Think of every interaction, every relationship as an energetic exchange. The people pleaser is being nice to avoid disapproval from others. And the self-pleaser, if you will, in this scenario, is asserting their own belief that they're superior and that they take from people like you to get their needs met. Not everyone will be like that, but you may notice more people in your life reflecting your inferiority back to you if you let that sit. So this is a shadow aspect because usually that feeling of inferiority started back when we were kids. Pretty early on, we developed something that I call the if-thens. And this is the belief that if we do something or if we are something, then we'll be worthy or approved of. So in this case, we're people pleasing because if we're always kind and pleasant with people, then we'll get the approval that we need from them or that we think we need from them. So to stop this, start by becoming aware. Accept that you become a people pleasing monster and become aware that it's been detrimental to your growth in certain areas of your life. Go within your own body and ask yourself what you want out of these relationships and say no when something isn't working for you. If someone asks you to do something that you don't want to do, start practicing ways of saying no. Even if you tell them that you have to think about it, that's fine. Delay until you're comfortable with saying no. But set those boundaries. People say no to you, right? Create that even exchange. You are not a doormat. You're not someone to talk down to. It's time to be authentic to your needs. It is not your job to stroke other people's egos. I'm going to say that again. It is not your job to stroke other people's egos. If they don't like a boundary that you've set for the sake of your own well-being, then you do not need the validation of those people. I know I just went on a tangent, but I myself am a self-aware people pleaser, and I'm also working through this. So I'm right there with you. So the second shadow aspect that might be blocking you is not being present. Okay, before you click away, really hear me out on this, because this is freaking crucial in manifestation. And I just grasped the importance of this kind of recently. There are tons of gurus preaching about living in the present moment awareness, etc. Eckhart Tolle is big on this one, and there's gotta be a reason, right? So in this world, we've been training our brains to constantly think ahead when we're not dwelling on the past, of course. We are always watching the clock, waiting for the end of the workday or the school day. We're always waiting for the weekend or Friday or our days off or vacation or whatever. Well, this conditioning has trained us to not be happy in the here and now. We still enjoy instant gratification for that initial hit of dopamine when we get something that we want. But have you ever noticed that when you finally get that thing that you've wanted for so long, it doesn't always feel as good to have it as you thought it would? So you move on to wanting the next shiny thing, right? Well, want attracts more want. So we're just stuck in this vicious cycle of wanting. So when we get something, we just keep wanting. And yes, this goes for relationships as well. Sometimes the shiny objects are other people that we've put on a pedestal, got bored of for whatever reason, and moved on to the next shiny thing or person. Well, what if I told you that linear time is not a thing outside of this 3D reality that we're in, that we know of anyway, but universally time is relative, right? So what if what we're communicating to the universe is indicating that we're only happy when we're wanting something or someone? Just to be clear, that's not to say don't visualize about a life that you want but don't have yet. Visualization is still pretty powerful because your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between past, present, and future. But the idea is to feel grateful for what you want now, as if you already have it in your life, and that you're worthy of it now, if that makes sense. So be here, look for things to be happy with now, keep a gratitude journal, acknowledge things throughout the day that make you happy in that moment, and I promise this is a game changer. If you're happy now, you're training yourself to look for more things to be happy about, and the universe will respond to that by manifesting proof of it. Okay, so the third way your shadow is blocking your manifestation is through neediness. Question: have you ever had someone interested in you romantically, and you could feel that this person has put you on this pedestal and made you the center of their interests? And how does that feel? Like a lot of pressure, right? Like, wow, this person needs me in order to feel happy, whole, and complete? And is that attractive? Probably not, unless there's some codependency there, but that is for another video. But subconsciously and sometimes consciously, we can feel that needy energy from that other person. We can feel how important they've made us. And again, that's a lot of pressure, right? So we tend to stay away from that energy. But we're also doing this with money. Money with everything else is just energy. And we use money strictly for exchange, right? It's not just meant to sit in a bank account. It's meant to be moved around and traded. But over the centuries, this is part of the mass poverty programming that a lot of us have lived by. But over the centuries, we've been conditioned to put extra importance on money and turn it into something that we need to hold on to instead of something to be exchanged and let go of, essentially. I talked about the if-thens earlier in the video. Well, we also have this thing called the when-thens. And that's indicating that when I have this much money or when I have this thing or person, then I'll be happy, whole, and complete. That's also affirming low self-worth, because you're implying that you're not good enough just as you are. So you need to have that something or someone to be good enough for one reason or another. But either way, that is a major block, and that puts up a wall for a lot of things that you're trying to achieve in life. If you cultivate the feeling of being good enough with or without the money, the thing, or the person, that's when those things come to you, because you're shifting the importance and you're taking those things off of that pedestal. Go back and watch my video on self-worth if you haven't. I'll link it in the description box. But when you feel worthy just as you are now, you become a magnet to the life that you want, okay? You don't need anything to be worthy of anything else. You're worthy simply by being alive. So again, I'll go ahead and post my video that I did on self-worth last week if you want to go ahead and check that out. But that is all that I have for you guys on 3 ways your shadow is blocking your manifestation. And to sum up real quick, these 3 things are people-pleasing, not living in the present moment, and being needy towards what you want. So I really hope this was helpful, and if it was, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, leave me a comment with any takeaways that you got from the video or anything that stood out to you, and more importantly, if you feel like this video could help someone else, go ahead and share it. But thank you guys so much for watching today, and as always, please be safe, much love, and I'll see you next time.